Hey there, this is Pamela Jordan with Boss Up Marketing, because marketing is everywhere you are, everything is on the table and up for discussion. So let's jump right in. And before we do that jump, I need you to go and do all the things that I need you to do, all of the things, so that people can hear about us. And, do the whole subscribe, notification, tell folks, leave me comments on any sort of topics you want me to cover from a business and marketing standpoint, give my take on it. I'll dig a little bit also and get some, meaningful fun facts for you. And then we'll just talk, about this whole world of business and marketing. So let's jump right to it. The topic for today is a brand that a lot of you have probably heard about, and it's called Peleton. Have you heard of Peleton? Well, you might have heard about it because it's made the business news, circuit, and it's circulating, over the past couple of weeks. So I thought I'd just jump right in and just talk about it a little bit, because it's really it centers around the topic supply and demand, and so yeah, and we wanted to, dig in on that for a little bit. So just to get started, just a little bit, I'd like to do a little digging first, hop around and see what everyone's talking about. I looked on the Forbes site, went to protocol.com, a couple of places, dipping around, Marketing Brew, Morning Brew. Those are two of my favorite, the newsletter, the brews, the newsletters that they create are awesome. So bottom line, here's the thing. Let me give you a quick overview on Peleton. Peleton is an at-home fitness equipment company, okay? And they gained wild popularity around 2020 when the world shut down, and a lot of fitness enthusiasts, they wanted to maintain their fitness routine, okay? So what they did was they purchased some, high-end fitness equipment to keep up with whatever it was they were doing in the gym. And hey, they made their money because a lot of people bought the Pelotons, right? Now, here's the thing, though. The thing is, Peleton is pretty pricey. Okay, it's pretty expensive. So somewhere between starting out, around $1,500 or so on up to, $2,000 and some change, not including accessories, not including the fitness apps and all these other things that you tap into to do live streaming, head-to-head competition with people, out there all on the Peloton at the same time, streaming and carrying on, and all of that, you're going to be paying a pretty penny. Now, they did have financing, you could do the monthly financing, but at the end of the day, I have to tell you, there were a lot of other companies that were directly good companies too, that were competing with Peleton. And I'm talking about Bowflex. I'm talking about Schwinn. I know y'all know those brands. I'm trying to think of some of the other brands, like Nordic Track. Some of these names have been tried and true for some years. Well, they are competing with Peleton on the basis of price, because we all know the brands have been long-standing, okay? But they realized that there was an opportunity. So here goes Peleton. Do you know that Peleton never lowered the price on their fitness bikes? They have a treadmill version too, okay? But they never lowered their price. The only thing you would find any remote discount on is if it was Black Friday, for example, if they had a referral program sort of discount on something, or a discount on accessories or something. But honey, if you were waiting and holding your breath like I was for a price reduction in that thing, don't even worry about it, because it didn't happen, okay? Because that wasn't their strategy. So they kind of position themselves as an upscale fitness experience at home. Not a problem until the pandemic quarantine situation was lifted a little bit. People started going back outside, returning to the gym. People weren't purchasing the Peloton as much. And so they went from somewhat 172%, spike in sales around 2020 to now their market share is plunging. Now, their sales took a huge dip, Then that led to them pausing production, right? Now, if I'm going to buy something that expensive and then I hear that the company is pulling back a little bit, that's kind of telling me sort of, should I trust them to be around for the long haul? I don't know. And so that is a question that a lot of consumers were asking. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I should invest, right? So when you go and talk about supply and demand, let's do a little sidebar on that. So when you're talking supply, you're talking about the manufacturer, the maker of the product. When you're talking about demand, you're talking about the consumer, like me and you, folks who buy the stuff. If the price is at its highest, meaning consumers are willing to pay that much, of course, the supplier, the manufacturer, is going to make and sell at the highest price. Not mad at you for that, okay? But when people stop buying for whatever sets of reasons, and we'll get into the issues that they're facing because they're in a crisis, honey. They're having a crisis, honey. Then you have to possibly rethink the wheel, okay? So the price was high, people were buying, now they're kind of not buying, okay? Like that. And so then the pause in production, so the trust factor has been compromised. And so plunge in market share, dip in sales, and all this other thing. Now, then on top of that, as if that was not enough to deal with, was the changing landscape of consumer preference and wants and needs, okay? You now have a public relations situation crisis. Where is Olivia Pope when you need her? Because HBO Sex and the City is a popular show. They did a reboot, and the loyal fans followed, okay? Well, there was a scene where one of the more popular characters was riding a Peloton and had a health crisis, okay, while riding a bike, and all this. It did not help Peloton whatsoever. Let's just be clear. It did not, right? So that resulted in, some public relations, things that needed to be managed. And then, it doesn't help when, other things are going on with people associated with it, with the brand. Oh my gosh, it just goes on and on, according to whatever the reports say, because I don't keep up with all that. But I'm just saying stuff be going on. Well, when you're talking about a pause in production, you're talking about a PR situation, public relations, that you need to handle, and then you're talking about a price point that you're not willing to budge on, and you have big dog on the porch playing competitors who are coming for you on the basis of price. Marketing team Peloton, let's get it together, honeys. Y'all need to you need to get it together because, just saying. So we have those issues. I'm just kind of thinking. So, okay. So we talked about all that. I gave you an overview to all that. So what should Peloton do? Now, look, I don't have a crystal ball, but I will say that there are a lot of companies that have recovered. They would take a moment, retreat, rethink, re-strategize, and then they'll come back strong, and they have recovered. Brands have done it all the time. Companies have done it. Now, but if you stuck with your stake in the ground and you won't realize and get out that bubble you're in and realize that you need to rethink, woe be unto you, honey. So listen, here's my thoughts. Immediately, you need to hire a very strong and reputable public relations firm to help you spin this narrative, honey. You need to regain control of the narrative, honey. Whatever it is that is causing the PR debacle, you need to flip it. Either bring humor to it, remind consumers of how great your brand is. Like spin that thing, honey. Flip it and spin it, honey. Flip it and spin it like people flipping and spinning them pedals, honey, on that Peloton. Yeah, take the features of your bike, honey, and turn it into a reminder as to why Peloton can spin it and flip it, honey, and do all the things. And so that's one thing. PR strategy revamp, please, ASAP. Secondly, I'm sorry. You need to rethink that pricing strategy. I'm sorry. You have major competitors. They're coming for you. Basis of price. You need to rethink your pricing structure. You need to do something. You need to throw in some accessory bundles or something. You need to do something. Listen. When I can go online and find a very similar, what we would call in business like a Me Too version of this thing, like they took all the features of your prototype and did a cheaper version, a more generic version, but it still does the work. Then I go and see the price, and it's like I could get a really good one, decent one for $600, and you asking me for $2,200, honey. And that's generic, private label, kind of brands. But even the other ones are several $100s cheaper than you. Listen, I don't know what y'all need to hear, Team Peloton, because I like your bike. I've been sweating it. I've been watching it for a while, so don't think I'm a hater, honey, because I celebrated because I wanted 100, but y'all, that price was doing too much. When it does that, you need to work on it. Okay, I'm just saying, just my 2 cents. You can take the 2 or you can take the plunge like you're doing. I'm just saying. So yeah, and then with all of that, you will revisit your fluid and ongoing changes to your marketing plan because obviously you guys need to do something different. So take your team, retreat somewhere, go think about it, go ideate and try to come up with a brand new look so the consumers will look at you differently. And if you're going to keep that price where it is, and then see, this is when I'm serious when I point my finger. If you're going to keep that price where it is, you better throw what we call some bells and some whistles up in there. You better take those accessories that people are paying who knows how much for, and you may want to throw it in as bundles and all the things because right now, that's not a good look. I'm just saying. But I do like I love some of the features that I was reading about, but honey, now that I've done a comparative analysis with other like brands, of high caliber, and I can get it cheaper, I'm that consumer who's going to walk and go over there and say, well, I wanted a Peloton, but it wasn't that serious at the end of the day. Because I could save some coins, because I could, take the difference and go on a vacation after I get in shape, honey. You see? Love you though. Y'all need to think about it. So that is what I have. Just remember with that supply and demand, when the price is too high, consumers just might not buy. Okay. If the price is too high, consumers might not buy. You just need to remember that when y'all go on your retreat and rethink. Okay. So with that said, hey, I have weighed in on the Peleton situation crisis. I hope they recover. I hope they figure out a way, and I can't wait to read about what they have done to turn things around, honey. So good luck to them. And again, this is Pamela Jordan with Boss Up Marketing, where, because marketing is everywhere you are, everything is on the table and up for discussion. Again, leave me some ideas in the comments box on what you want me to talk about. Everything is fair game, okay? And be looking for future programming from me, okay? Have a good one. Bye.